Hello everyone, this is Rick Morgan. I wanted to do some just a basic pressing video today, which I've done of course millions of times, but hundreds of times, but people want to ask me to see some more. I got a book recently from a new friend of mine. It's a great guy, his name's Alex DeLuca, and he is a writer on Red 5 comic books. He sent me a book. He said, hey, I got this book that has a crease right up the middle of it. Like every page, front to back, has a crease. There's a bunch of pretty severe spine ticks and some dents in the cover. It looked like it had been, I don't remember if he told me not, but it looked like it had been pressed before, but not to much avail. And he said, hey, can you do something for it? Can I pay you? And I said, yeah, I'll take a look at it for you. I'm not going to take any money, but I am happy to take a look at it. Alex, it ends up that when I received this book from him, he sent me 2 free books that he had written. He works for Red 5 Comics. He's a writer. Both, one's a kind of a steampunky thing. It's not really my thing. But the other one, even though it's not a superhero book, was really piqued my interest. And I'm looking forward to reading it with my son, Nolan. But to continue, the book is X-Men 111. It's not that interesting of a book. It's fun because it's an early Claremont and Byrne book. It's a good story, right? It's the first time that the Beast, who is, he joins the X-Men back for just 3 issues, 111, 112, 113, was an Avenger at this time, and it's his first experience with these new fancy X-Men. Not all of them. I think there's a Cyclops, Storm, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and there are a lot of plays on the number 1. This is issue 111, and there's a 1-ton thing on the cover. Lots of plays on the number 1, and interestingly, there is a fun little inside joke, because in X-Men number 1, you may recall that famously they called Scott Summers Slim Summers several times in the first issue, but starting on issue 2, they changed his name to Scott Summers. Well, he's under some kind of spell. He and Jean Grey, who's turned into some kind of vampy, chain-smoking circus person, I don't know, by Mesmero, but his name is Slim. And it's issue 111, so that's kind of fun. It's a fun thing, and then you can see here. I'll show you the picture of that, the Slim initial and final book mentioning his name, and then I will show you the Beast kind of checking out these fancy new X-Men for the first time that he's heard about somewhere, and he gets a little bit of an introduction, like a roll call of them, and it's was it 16 issues later, 17 issues later, so it's almost a year and a half after the debut of the new X-Men, and this is, I think, June 1978, so he's had some time to experience these guys, and he's heard about them. He hasn't run into them before, and so I will show you what I did with this book. Now, I was thinking I was going to have to take a tacking iron out, and I was going to end up having to press each page individually, but I wanted to try just a basic press using just my chamfer boards, the aluminum boards for the press, silicone release paper, and a cold press for 3 to 5 days. And in case you don't want to watch the whole video, I'll show you some of the before and after pictures now. Here's just quickly some of the area of concern, the top center on the front cover. And I'll go over these in more detail again later. And in the back, there's a similar one and some spine ticks. So here's the back one. It's similar, before and after, and a couple spine ticks. Really just a simple press. But if you'd like to see the press and see my son and I, we're gonna very, obviously, just the basics. You do anything fancy, I think I'm gonna work it over a little bit. I think there's some room to improve here. Even more, I'm gonna vacuum clean it and work it a little bit to brighten up the whites, but it was a fun, and I want to thank its generous gift, and enjoy the rest of this video if you care to watch it after just seeing the before and afters. So take care of yourself. I'll see you around. Bye bye. Here's the book. You can see this little dent near Nightcrawler's face. We're kind of scanning around. There's lots of little tiny dents and creases along the spine. Up here there's a few, but this is the big part up here in the top center. It's through the whole book, front and back. Every single page has this little cruncher in it. First thing I do is put a chamfer board in and steam the book until the pages curl up. I got a new steamer, not the Pure Steam anymore. I have a new one I like. And I do that first. Let it sit for about 20 minutes after I steam it. All right, Nolan, we're going to start with 2 chamfer boards. We're going to use one in the front. These have a rounded edge. I'll show an inset picture here. And what we do is we tuck it under the first page of the book, not under the actual cover itself, because those things have a lot of this black and white ink that comes off and sticks to the chamfer board. We don't want that. Then we're going to stick one under the other side as well. So I'm going to go ahead and lift this up and stick it in here. That's our initial sandwich, and we're going to take these, put them on our press. Now I have a preheated bottom board, preheated to 165 degrees, so it's going to be quite warm. You put that there, you put a piece of silicone release paper, shiny side down. Shiny side always faces the book. And then I'm going to put one just regular board on top of it, like this. Then I put another aluminum pressing board on top. This one is not preheated. Straight down. I push the press down, tighten it till I make contact. There. Then I lift it. I turn it 1/2 turn, and then I push it back down all the way, and I turn this on until it reaches 165 degrees for 600 seconds. So once this temperature gets to 165, we'll turn it off and then on again. And that will be, we'll press the book. Go. Right, so we're done. Now that we waited till it came to ambient temperature, which took about 45 minutes. And then we have the book here. We're going to remove the chamfer boards. And I'm going to put one under the book here. And then we're going to take a quick look at it. The pages are curling because they were hot. There's a little difference in moisture, but we're going to stop that soon. And look, the interior pages are flat. The customer was concerned about the interior pages. The submitter, not really a customer. He was concerned that these were all wrinkly, and they're not wrinkly anymore. And if we look at the back, we will look at the back. It looks good. It looks better. I mean, we may still need some work, but it's overall much better. And we will going to cold press this thing. It keeps these edges from rising up and being kind of weird. We're just going to put it under a nice heavy cold press board for us. It's going to be 3 to 5 days. We let it just relax and stay, and it'll be permanently nice and flat in that case. And I think we will then show some before and after photos and check out the book. Well, let's look at it first real quick before we let it sit for a while, Nolan. Here, so go ahead and take a look at it. So this part's flatter. It looks like there's some small marks on it. That little dip on his face is mostly gone. There were lots of little marks on this book that were sort of unnoticed before. I think that looks pretty good. And then the back as well, we have these marks here on the spine. I mean, you can see where they were if you study it, but I don't think that's necessary. And then we were going to cold press this for a few days, and then under this heavy, this thick this board is. This board weighs 2 pounds.
Oh wow!
That's the amount of weight that I've found. Is any more than this, it's not really doing anything. But you set it here, show the book.
Yep.
And there, and it you can actually see it, which is kind of nice. You can look at it for a couple days. And I think we will go at it with the tacking iron on a little bit on the edges, but otherwise it's all good. I think we're done.
Yeah, no magic, just precise work.
That's right. That's all there is to it, right? And then let's take a look at these books again, Nolan. I'm going to show them.
Go.
So also I wanted to highlight these books that Alex sent me. And he's what a nice guy. And he is the writer, and I think the letter of this book. And then read this. It's called Enigma Town from Red 5 Comics. And get this tagline. 3 unlikely friends, 115, 190, and one a ghost, that's really unlikely, are drawn together by the ghastly events of their hometown's dark mansion and how it has haunted them and their community for generations.
Interesting premise.
Right? It is kind of interesting. Can they save the souls of countless children before it's too late? Ooh. Exclamation point. So it's It's really, I haven't read the whole thing. I just read the first 2 pages, but I'm hooked. It seems great. I'm happy to have it. He gave this to me, and it's the SDCC exclusive one, so I'm really happy to have it. And he has another one here called Dragon Whisperer. So Alex is the author, or the writer of these books, and I'm really happy to know him. So there it goes. So he signed these for me and sent them, which is, he's a good guy. So anyway, I wanted to share that. So check out these books if you want, and I will give you some before and after pictures of the pain points on these particular books. And as promised, here are some fun before and after. Some you've seen before, like this one. I call it Photo A. It's the top center, went through the whole book. It was a big cruncher. I call them crunchers. It's an impact bend. This is just a little fingernail clip from in the typical place where people read a book. You often see a thumb or a finger impression in this location. And it came out okay with just a regular press, which was nice. Still introducing the X-Men, by the way. Lots of little creases, reading finger creases on the back too came out. Again, same normal press, nothing fancy here, folks. This one is the back top center. So that one is same as the other crease that went through the whole book on the front, the cruncher. This one is the back right, the spine ticks, just typical bend that you might get from CGC. But it came right out, so we didn't have any problems at all with this book, which is great. It makes me happy. Well, that's all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video on the fundamentals and just a basic comic book pressing without any cleaning at all. This is just a regular Bronze Age book, and I hope you enjoyed it. I get a lot of questions from people about the basics, even though I know I've done this lots of times, and it may be boring to the experts out there, but trust me, there are people out there who need this. Let's be patient with our friends and teach them how to succeed in this hobby. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you around. Email me and say hi sometime, or leave a comment, and take care of yourself. Bye-bye.